Sports Outlet, man. I'm just so excited today to be with Coach Kenny Gray. Yes, and we
Hey, thank
also
you.
have Mr. Darnerien McCants.
Yay, yay. How you feeling?
So I want to do a quick intro. Coach Kenny Gray,
Yes.
introduce yourself a little bit and what you're bringing to the Sports Outlet.
Well, I have 32 years of football, high school football coaching experience. 32 years ago, I started this thing and didn't even want to do it. The best thing I could have done is try, and I did. 32 years and still going. So, high school football, basketball, baseball, a little bit of pro basketball, ABA. Did a little bit of that. But that's my coaching experience that I bring in and the time tenure and performance coach, train all athletes, all different sports specific athletes. That's who I am.
Awesome. Yes. And Mr. Darnerien McCants, he's a former NFL player. Talk to us, sir.
Who I am, Darnerien
Mhm.
McCants, originally from Baltimore, grew up in Howard County, all-state athlete in football, basketball, and track, all-American athlete in football and track. Got drafted to the Washington Redskins in 2001, played 5 years, 1 year with Eagles, and then I've been a personal trainer for the last 20 years or so, working with youth level, high school level, and multitude of sports, because I develop athletes, mentor and coach, and that's where I'm at right now.
I love it. I love it. So we have
Mhm.
a lot of experience here on the Sports Outlet. Darnarian, what position did you play?
Play wide receiver. All I did was score touchdowns.
And what school? What was your college? What college did you go to?
Delaware
Yeah.
State University.
What's wrong with that?
Oh,
Yes, HBCU in the house. All right. Oh my goodness. It is a wild card weekend. But before we get into that, there have been a lot of firings for these head coach positions so far. The Ravens, the Giants, the Titans, the Falcons, the Browns, the Cardinals, and the Dolphins. But the one that was the most
Oh
surprising
my.
was the Ravens. Oh my goodness, John Harbaugh, head coach for 18 seasons with the Ravens, 180 wins, 113 losses, no ties with a 13-11 postseason record. Took the NFL by surprise. Coach Kenny Gray, tell me your thoughts about that change in particular with the Ravens not making the postseason.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't make the postseason, period. Coach or no coach. They had a loaded team, but the injuries, I think, prevented them from being the best they could be. And as far as why you didn't see them early on, because there's a lot of games that they were up by double digits and they lost. It's a defensive thing. But when you talk about a coach, and Denarian, we all talk about the coaches as well. But you got to understand, this is not the first time that Baltimore wanted Harbaugh out. They wanted him out before Lamar got there. Lamar saved this man's job for the last 7, 8 years. So now they made that ultimate decision to cut bait. So it's not a surprise in Baltimore. This is the second time around. It's not a surprise.
All right. Darnarian, your take on that.
I'm a little slighted because I'm a Harbaugh guy. He kept me in Philly, and then when they did release me, he couldn't tell me, he was trying to keep me. So what I will say is, if you notice, the former players tend to be better coaches. Uh,
Mm,
Now, why did they release him? 20 years, things change, right? The players change, the game changes, and then sometimes you may want something new and fresh to see what happens. But he's a great
Right.
coach. He's a player's coach because he's been in those shoes, so he understands certain things. Now, like I said, the fact that the generations are changing, even when Coach
Mhm.
Schottenheimer shut down, he was like, he couldn't necessarily associate with the new generation that was coming in
Right.
because just the discipline of it. The kids, he said, Coach Schottenheimer before, he passed. We talked and he said, the kids are making so much money that they're not even willing to listen to the head coach because they feel the money gives them more information than this coach who have been coaching 20 and 30 plus years and who's won championships.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the mentality, even at the high school level, the kids are changing because they think they know more than these men who are in leadership.
Absolutely.
That's ignorant. That is ignorant. Oh my goodness. So let's talk about now that this vacancy is open, what kind of head coach, do you believe Baltimore needs? Do we need one that's strong on offense? Do we need one strong on defense? Do we need one who knows something about special teams? What do you think their weakness was this season? And what do you think they need to be who they should be based off of their roster? Coach.
Well, I think they need a true leader. And what does that mean? Like Andy Reid, he knows to get out the way when he brings in great coaches that can run the defense and offense, even though he makes the last decision. Great staff, a great leader is the one that Baltimore needs. That way he can run the entire system, get out the way when he needs to get out the way, step in the way when he needs to step in the way. That's called leadership. And that's what you really need. Now, I will say that Harbaugh is a good coach, but there's rumors that, does he control the locker room? Has he lost it? You've heard those terms, right? And Darnerien knows what the locker room's like in there. He knows the pulse. But my point is, the leader won't matter if they are a true leader. That's always going to be his house. Agree or disagree. And that's the type of leader Baltimore needs right now. And I'm a big Rex Ryan guy. I love Rex Ryan and what he brings. I just like that thing that he brings around. And Lewis, Marvin Lewis. I think they are great coaches that could actually fill in that spot, but I don't think they're up for the job. But I like those styles of coaches.
All right, Darnerien, what do you think?
What I think, like I said, I believe Harbaugh, he's proven to be a good leader. Now, as far as, like I said, it may have been some issues with management or ownership. And like I said, they may just want to change, but you have a winning coach that you're getting rid of. And that's always kind of perplexes me going forward. If I'm winning, what's the big deal? But at the same time, like I said, things change. The reality, they were injured, man. Like
they were injured.
If anything, you need to look at your medical staff, if anything else. As far as leadership, that still has to be on the field. Like, when I was in Baltimore for training camp, and Ed Reed and Ray Lewis stood out. It wasn't even a question.
Yes.
They stood out. It wasn't a question. When they spoke, the whole team listened.
That's right.
So regardless of what the coaches are doing, it still comes down to the men on the field.
Wow. All right, another one. Kevin Stefanowski got let go from the Browns.
He wanted Dion to have a job, man. That's all it was.
I'm saying the same thing. Darnerien. That's the best. The only one you can fill in that situation is Dion.
I don't think Dion an NFL guy, but he was setting himself up from the beginning. It was he was making himself and the organization look bad, in my personal opinion. Like, nobody followed Cleveland until Shador was there, and then it just seemed like you were doing everything in your power not to give this young man an opportunity, and that just made the whole organization look bad.
Exactly. So,
somebody got to go, and it's generally the head.
Everything starts at the top. Who do you think would be a good fit, or what do you think the Browns need to be a winning team next season? What kind of coach?
Well, first off, they got to get the circus under control. It's a circus, right? Because Darnerien knows if you are a 5th round draft pick and you're the 3rd string quarterback, you don't have the mic in your face. Why are they putting the mic in this kid's face so much when he's not starting? He was at the press conference every week. Why? He's not getting the ball. So cut the clown show, cut the circus, and put some real serious business in Cleveland. Win or lose, then now we're talking. But right now you got to kill that clown show. It's a clown show.
Well, let me chime in on that. So you still have media manipulation. So
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
still have the circumstances of owners, presidents, and whoever else up top who's paying or know who runs the media, and they can run with any situation. So, for instance, in my situation, I played special teams high school, special teams college, and special teams in the pros. But suddenly, my last year in contract, in the paper, they said I didn't want to play special teams. So you gotta kind of understand how that game is played in order for them to devalue and then move you out the way. So that could be the same scenario as well as in Baltimore with Coach Harbaugh. They need you out the way. We got to get the fans not to be on your side. Now, as far as with the Sanders, he's been on television since he's 12. So it comes with the product. Now, why is he in front of the media? Because he's been in television since he was 12. This is probably one of the most mature young men as a rookie, and some of the questions they've tried to hit him with, and the responses have been great. So he's your leader. He's been proven that he's your leader. He told you when he came in, I will change your franchise. He wasn't saying, okay, I'm so arrogant that I can change your franchise. He's telling you what he is. You have to believe it now. You have to see it because that's what he's did. Because nowhere in the world, nobody's watching Cleveland without him going to there, without him going to that franchise. So he's already proven. So if anybody who needs to come in, they got to figure out, okay, we have rookies that can go. Right. So now what do we need to do to get them going? So you need somebody to come in, hone in on those rookies, and grow from there. And it has to be, I'm gonna say offensive right now, because you got Myles Garrett, and then you got to kind of build around him too. They got to put him on television because you got the sack leader, and then you got this kid who's been entertaining people since he was 12. So you got to find a way to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're not benefiting as much as they could off of having Shedeur Sanders there. And I mean, I think he's a great asset and probably the best asset they've had in decades for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, of course, Myles Garrett did his thing, and we're really glad he beat that record. Just so glad he was able to accomplish that. All right, gentlemen, let's get into these games. NFL Wildcard Round. First game, Rams at the Panthers. Oh, my goodness. Coach Kenny Gray, what do you think? Who do you take for that game?
Well, I have the Rams. I think the Rams are a far better coached, but again, they have a problem. They can beat themselves. And if they go in that game and they do exactly what they're capable of doing, they'll win. But if they go in there and make it hard on themselves, they can take an L as well. So I like the Rams in this one.
And Coach, what do you think it comes down to?
Right now, second season, it's about focus. It's about finishing what you start, because there is no tomorrow. You know, this is not that we can talk about film tomorrow. No, this is it. We got to go in prepared. You got to go in focus, and you got to have that drive to want to win. That's it.
All right, Mr. McCants, your take on that game, the Rams at the Panthers.
I'm gonna go with the Rams. Like I said, you know, sometimes that record means a lot. It's any given Sunday, but for the most part, when you got 12 wins, you're letting the league know that we coming to play ball.
Yeah, and it was kind of interesting how the Panthers snuck into the wild card round anyway. So they're hosting the game. All right. The next game, the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. Ooh, Coach Kenny Gray, who do you take and what do you think that game comes down to?
Grudge match. I like the Bears in this one all the way. I think Green Bay is a great football team, but I think Bears are just better this year on all levels as a complete team. And I got the Bears on this one.
Darnerien.
I rock with the Bears as well because of their defense. So, like I said, anytime I can stop you from scoring or have an opportunity that my defense may possibly score, I'm going to lean towards that team every time.
That's right.
And let's talk about this because we were just talking about head coaching positions. Let's talk about Ben Johnson. It's his first season with the Bears as the head coach. and what he's been able to do this season with the Bears after their abysmal season last year?
Well, the issue was always a quarterback spot for last 4 or 5 years. Now they have their quarterback. They were able to come and bring this guy in, this young man in, and he's doing a hell of a job. But then it's the backside what Darnerien said, is that defense. That defense is playing championship caliber ball. If you can't score, you can't win. So not just a coach, you got to look at what the problem was before. It was that one particular spot that everyone didn't know who was going to run that quarterback spot. He has a lot to do with that turnaround. Now, coaches got to let him play, and you got to buy into it, and you got to believe him.
Your thoughts, Darnerien?
Yeah, I agree with Coach. Like I said, that quarterback spot, if for whatever the quarterback is the engine, your offense will only move as far as your quarterback is willing to lead. And when you have quarterback after quarterback after quarterback, it's hard for a team to get settled. And like, all right, are we going with this guy this week or this guy? And then the style of play changes, right? So that's inconsistent. And then that goes back to leadership. You got a head coach to come in and say, this is what we're doing. Stop asking questions and let's move forward.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. You speaking my language, boy. You speaking my language, son.
Well, I'm excited about the Bears. I kind of grew up in a Bears household. My dad was a Bears fan. My uncle.
No Bears.
Yep. Yeah. And look, this is what's crazy, man. So I'm a kid, right? And my uncle was like, yeah, we getting ready to watch the Bears. I don't know if y'all remember the Berenstain Bears cartoon. I thought that's what we was getting ready to watch. It was the Chicago Bears.
That's right.
That was my introduction to football. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the Bills at the Jaguars. That's happening Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern.
You got to kill the head. In this game, if you don't want the Bills to go any further, the Jaguars have to do their job. You don't let this team continue on in the playoffs. They can get hot. You don't have Mahomes in this thing this time. You don't have Lamar in there this time. So if Josh Allen find a way to navigate his way to a Super Bowl, it's going to have to go through Jacksonville and everybody else because it's primed and ready. I like the Jaguars in this one. I do like the Jaguars in this one because I think they're playing pretty good. But the Bills has been very inconsistent this year. And when they're bad, they are bad. They are bad.
I'm gonna go with the Bills just because Josh Allen and them have been there. Unfortunately, I never made it to the playoffs. But for those who did, I spoke to them. They said the playoffs is a different mindset and it's a different kind of gear and it's a different game. How I'm not completely sure, but from talking to other players, it's a different mental level. And then, of course, once you've been there once or twice, you kind of know what to expect and the energy that comes with it in order to win. So I'm gonna go with the Bills.
All right, and let's just talk about that for a second. How big of a deal is it to make the postseason in the NFL for the players, for the franchise, overall? Just even hosting one home game in the postseason. How big of a deal is that? Darnerien, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Like I said, I don't know. I ain't never
I know you didn't do
it, but my perspective is skewed. Because like I said, just because I was there, like I said, I never had opportunity to get to that or even smell a winning season. But what does it really mean? I think for those franchises who really want to win, like the New Englands, the Steelers, Green, like it's a different mentality and a different purpose. From the player's perspective, shoot, that's another check. That's another week I get my check. Now the trick is the money changes. So all those top tier guys, now everybody money's on the same level.
It's the same level.
Economics of it. That also money now that has to come out the pot of the franchise. So that's why it's kind of up in the air. do we really want to win? You know, the fans going to be the fans all day. We going to hype it up. Oh, we got this player. We got a new toy. It's like giving a kid a new toy, but it's the same toy in a different color. And it's like, oh, I got a new toy. Oh, I got a new toy. Oh, I got a new toy. And then they're not trying to win. So it's tough to say, considering I don't know the owners. But just how some of them move, I'm not sure if they lack intelligence or they just enjoy the check.
Yeah, but you know, the best thing I like about this whole NFL thing is every team is playing for something. And if you don't win, you don't get the privilege to move forward or move on, right? The name of this game is winning. But then you have to understand is you have to jockey and you have to maneuver according to the variables. The variables is injury, right? Mm-hmm. Injury happens. And one person can make a difference or a multitude of people can make a difference. And right now what's happening in the 49ers, well, 2 weeks ago, last 2 weeks, before last week, they put up 80 points. 80 points before they played Seattle and only put up 3. Well, they're saying it's because of the injuries of certain people. Okay, so what's the big deal in the playoffs? Well, you earned the right to be there. Now what you gonna do? Because it's almost like what Darnerien said. Now your money's the same. Has nothing to do with what you signed over 3-5 year contract. This is the playoffs. You only gonna get this amount of money to go after the Super Bowl. So I think it's a big deal. I know mentally it has to be something different from the regular season because you knew you could look behind you. We have a game we can make up for it. There's no game behind you after this. There is no game behind after this. So it's got to be different. That's why I like this opportunity in this time in the NFL. I think it's going to be some of the best football you've seen all year long.
And that chimes in also, like I said, on leadership. Because, like I said, you got some guys. So rumor have it, depending on where you are. You know, certain guys in the South, where they got that nice weather. My check cleared. You going to the playoffs for? I'm good. I'm good for the next 6 months. So
that's right.
So you got some coaches who say, "Hey, we here for the win," and then you got some who just like, "Hey, the check cleared. All right, let's go to Cancun. I see you in the in the offseason."
That's right. That's right.
But I want to say, I know for the owners, they make a killing even hosting one playoff game. The tickets are already high for regular season. And then when you're talking about postseason, you can jack them even higher. You're probably paying $300 for nosebleed.
So I'm going to challenge you on this. They already billionaires. Do you think money's really the issue?
Do I think money's the issue when it comes to who? The owners?
The owners. They're already billionaires. Are they really chasing money? What is a billionaire chasing?
They chase more money. Okay. That's what I'm seeing. I'm talking about just what I'm seeing in America right now. All the billionaires want more money. They want to own more. They want more. It's like that never gets fed all the way.
The owner of the Baltimore Ravens said this is a hobby for him. Now he's a billionaire, but his take on this is it's a hobby because he's not going to own the Ravens forever. He already said it. He will sell this team. But for now, he's after the gold. He's after the pennants. He's after that Super Bowl because this is a hobby for him. You don't hear many billionaires say that.
No.
Not at all.
He told the truth.
No. he told the truth.
Hey, we want to win the Super Bowl. Yay. We're really out here trying to win the Super Bowl.
Man, you got $100 million yacht. You ain't trying to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the 49ers at the Eagles. Ooh. Darnerien, I'm going to start with you since you played for the Birds.
EAGLES. I'm riding with the NFC East, man. Regardless of what they have. I don't even care. I'm not even looking at the 49ers. I'm going with them Eagles. And we got them dogs up there, so I got to go with my dog. Are you?
The Eagles are getting the worst rap on media. I've heard them talk about that they're not good, they're not this, blah. They win. And when you're not good and you're winning, how can you form your, well, again, it's the media spin, right? Well, if the Eagles lose, it's because Trent Williams is not playing. Well, no, stop. All the Eagles, the defense, their defense is better. Their defense is so good that they can beat anybody when they're on point. The offense really don't have to work that hard with a defense like that. All they have to do is be consistent and not turn that ball over. The Eagles will win this game. Not to say the 49ers is not a good football team. I just think the Eagles is a better playoff team right now than anybody that's in the league. And they know what it takes to win. I'm going Eagles.
Going Eagles, and they're at home. They're at home. They're a different team when they're at home, in my opinion, what I've seen.
Baby, let's get
They're a different team, man.
Yes, I think they're gonna be great. So you don't think Mr. Irrelevant will have a play in this game for the 49ers? Will have a hope, a chance at pulling this off?
And who is Mr. Irrelevant?
That's why he missed the irrelevant.
The coach.
Right.
I mean, not the coach, the quarterback, Purdy.
It doesn't matter. No. You're playing against a defense that's coming at you. You saw what they did in the Super Bowl to Mahomes. Trust me, It's not Purdy. And it's not going to be Purdy, what they do to Purdy this weekend.
It's not going to be Purdy.
It's not going to be Purdy.
Nah, I think they're going to pull that off. And then I also think the climate might be a bit of a factor. And they'll be playing at home. I'm going with the Eagles on that one too. All right. The Chargers at the Patriots. Coach, what does this game come down to? Because those are both good teams there.
Well, first off, I don't think the Chargers should have been in it. That's just my opinion. They're there. Okay. The Patriots have had the weakest schedule for years to get into the playoff run. Okay. Now, they are beatable, very beatable, but they're well coached. They are very well coached. In this game, I see the Patriots. Patriots will win this game because of the coaching of that young man. I like Grable. I love how he prepares his teams. I like
him. Your take.
Now, this is ownership. Mr. Kraft has been the owner. He's an owner who's trying to win. So, like I said, if you watch the difference in ownership, he's trying to leave a legacy. He wants to be, the Jerry Jones, Al Davis type owners. Like that's, if you watch, anytime he's in ownership, he's trying to win. So you can see the difference in the franchises. So every time he's been owner, they've been in, of course, obviously under Belichick, he got 7 Super Bowls, which is crazy. He's going to be as one of the, legends moving forward, Hall of Fame owners. So, but that being said, I'll go with the Patriots.
Patriots. And then I just want to touch on that because Darnerien, you said, so it's the difference with these owners. So like the Patriots, he wants to win. He wants to leave a legacy. So he's putting it all in. This is not a game, a hobby. This is his mark that he's leaving. And he wants to be the most winningest owner in history. Okay, I can rock with that. All right. Game I'm looking forward to.
Well,
the Texans defense at the Steelers.
Ooh.
Oh, Coach, talk to me about this game.
Oh, I am an absolute Houston fan, and I said this to many people. If you go back and take a look at the best defense that they said they've ever probably played the Ravens 2000 team. Best defense. I think Houston right now, that defense is on the same trajectory that where they can win this whole thing out to Super Bowl with their defense. As long as that defense can continue to be consistent like that. They have a good offense, but when the Ravens won that Super Bowl, they didn't have an offense. They had a defense. What I think this team is hot, and I think they can come in and run the whole table on the road or at home. It doesn't matter. They're just that good.
Darnerien.
Didn't the Steelers lose to the Browns?
They did.
Then that's enough said.
That's why
Wow.
I like you, boy. That's why I like you, man. That's why I like you.
You can't make me believe in you and you go out and lose to a team that like got a circle going on. That they're not even who's your quarterback. Oh well, the 5th round draft pick is the best quarterback, and that's the topic of each week. And then now you losing, and you talking about going to the playoffs. Like I said, I'm a Tomlin fan, but I don't believe this year.
You don't believe it this year. I really believe Houston's defense is gonna take over. I definitely think they'll beat Pittsburgh at home. I'm not really sure. I just want to see how they play in the postseason. Like you both indicated, this is a whole new level of football. They've been in the postseason the past couple of years. And I just have to say, I'm really glad they're not facing Baltimore. I'm really glad about that because it doesn't normally go Houston's way when they face Baltimore. It happened this season, but that's not the norm. So I'm really excited that they're facing Baltimore. I want to get your picks at this stage and who you think could possibly go all the way. Coach, you kind of hinted at Houston, but give me 3 teams that you think could go all the way, and even a matchup if you see one at this point.
Yeah, I think Houston and surely Philadelphia. Those 2 are locked for me. I just can't, for some reason, take the Patriots off this year. We didn't talk about what is it? Mile High was at Denver. We didn't talk about Denver. I think Denver. Yeah, we haven't talked about Denver. I think Denver could make some heat, but my top 3 would be Houston, Eagles, Patriots.
Okay, we didn't talk about the Seahawks either, so I want to make sure I throw them in there because they have a bye.
And again, I do not want to diminish. Yeah, I don't want to diminish them, but I just think when you're looking at a defense, you're looking at play, you're looking at a team like the Eagles and a well-coached team like the Patriots. I see those 3.
Okay. Your picks.
I'm going with the Eagles. Like I said, once again, a team that's been there plays a major factor when it gets to the playoffs. They understand the tempo. They understand what it takes, especially when you got the same leadership and Jalen Hurts. And then the AFC side, the Texans and Broncos, it's because of their defenses. So that's where I don't know. Let's go with the Broncos because they number 1.
And they get a chance to rest. Sometimes
that rest ain't good. Sometimes they rest a little bit too much. And it's like, say, when you rest, you rust. And sometimes it throws off your timing also.
Yes, it does.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, that is our take on Wildcard Weekend and some possible projections for the big game. So next week, we'll know what it is. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you. This was fun. And we will be watching some football, enjoying, man. I just have to say, this is America's sport, football. I just love football. It brings everybody together in the midst of all the chaos that's going on. We know we can enjoy these games for the next couple of weeks. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Next week.